Hi, it's Alice, and I'm back with a market update for the Victoria Real Estate Board for June 2025. So for sales, we had 761 sales go through in June. That was up 15% versus last year, so it's a nice little uptick for summertime. New listings, we had 1,547 new listings come to the market, and that was only up 3.5% versus last year. So again, a little flurry of activity, but nothing crazy. And we had 3,778 active listings at the end of June, and that was up 9% versus last year at the same time. So again, it's slowly climbing, but I don't find that a staggering difference. So yeah, it's a stable market. If you look at the real estate board, what would you call it? Market update or summary. They're saying it's balanced, and it does feel very balanced. So we're entering a more typical market that perhaps you'd see like 15 years ago. So it feels really good. It's nice. For single family homes, the benchmark home price was $1.325 million, and that was up 2.3% versus last year at the same time. The average is up 3.9% for single family homes, and that was at $1.321 million. And this is for Victoria Core homes, I might say. And sales were up 16.6% versus last year, and there were 402 sales that went through. So, yeah, that's a good little jump. It's busy in homes, but you know what's really busy was condos. Let's look at condos. So condos had a little surprise in their sales, but let's do the benchmark price first. So the benchmark price for condos in the Victoria Core is $562,000 roughly, and that's down 0.9%, so a slight decrease there. The average is $581,000 roughly, and that's down 1%. So again, they've been nudging down every time I do a market update, so they're not climbing in price, but the sales were up 23.3% versus last year, which was quite a boost. So I wonder if it's because a lot of condos have been sitting on the market quite some time, and they've probably gone through a number of reductions, and then they're finally all starting to sell. I don't know, like a bottleneck situation. But the sales for condos were excellent in the past month. For interest rates, we're not going to have an interest rate announcement until July 30th. So no news there. I don't know which way it's going. Every time I say one thing, it goes the other. So I'm not going to predict, but we'll see. We'll see how it goes. Recently, StatsCan published the numbers for emigrations out of Canada for the first quarter of 2025, and it was record-breaking almost. It was huge numbers of people leaving the country, never to return again, and Ontario was leading that charge with 14,000 roughly people leaving the country for good out of Ontario. BC was the second in that. We had about 6,000 people emigrating out of BC, and then Alberta was the next with around 4,000. But the trend is basically people saying it's too expensive to live in Canada, and they are piecing out. I don't blame them. I do wonder where people are going, though, that's so cheap, because I have had quite a few friends that threaten to leave the country, but they don't, because they go travel to these places and they find it's quite expensive just for day-to-day living. So I'm curious where people are going, but sad to see them go, and it's beautiful here, so I'm not going anywhere. And our friends in Toronto, they're still going through it. New home sales out there are down 51%, which is rough. Condo sales in May in Toronto, there were 42. And I feel like I read that wrong, like it should be like 420, or no, it was 42. And for reference, just this past month, we had 249 condos sell. So, and Toronto is much, much bigger than us. But looking at May 2025 versus May 2021, the condo sales are down like 97%. So sales out here are not in the same arena as that. We did have a little slowdown, but I do feel for those people. They're in the thick of it right now. The last little thing that caught my eye was RBC published data that showed the affordability for housing costs in Canada is the best that it's been in 3 years, which I feel like a lot of people would disagree with that. But so basically, I'm just looking at the numbers here. So in the fourth quarter of 2023, it was 63.5% of one's income to maintain the home ownership. Now in the first quarter of 2025, it's 55.1% of the household income to maintain that home. So basically, they need more price drops, more interest rate reductions, and income growth. So all that kind of needs to happen to improve that number. But let me just show you the chart that shows the trend. And I'm talking about this because I keep hearing in the news and just in podcasts that we're trying to get our pricing back down to where it was in 2019. And I don't think that's reasonable. I don't know how it's going to happen without people absolutely losing their shirts. So it could happen, but I don't see it. I just don't see it. But anyways, here's a chart. That's 1990, the bubble of 1990. That's 2008. This is the cost to maintain a home. That's about 60%. That's 2022. 2022. And they're forecasting that it's just going to stay stagnant. So some people think it's going to go off a cliff. I don't think so. I think it will probably be somewhere in between that. But that's just to show how crazy it was in 2022 and still how high we are. So yeah, so this is like the golden era. I mean, that's beautiful. That would have been a beautiful time. But like 40% is, the goal. It should be the goal. But I don't see how they're going to get there. Like they're saying they want to bring affordability back to 2019 levels. I mean, here we are around 2019 and it's like a rocket ship. So without people hurting really bad or people needing to be bailed out, I don't really know how that's going to happen because that's where we're at right now. Anyways, I'm going to leave that with you for the month and I'm going to go enjoy some sunshine. But yeah, people are still buying and selling. It's still, it's a good market. It's balanced. It's just, some of the predictions of what could happen in the coming year, I don't see it. But anyways, if you have any questions, you want to see anything, sell anything, give me a call. I'm Alice Klug, and I'm leaving you there until August.